I'm sure some of you are wondering why I've kind of fallen off in the past few months when it comes to doing impact reviews and talking about TNA, which used to be a very big passion of mine, something that was really equivalent to WWE in many ways. And it's a number of things. One major thing, I blame the Aces and Eight storyline. Can you believe that shit's been going on for like 15 months now? Why a company would continue to go with a storyline that is obviously not bringing enough positive things to the table to justify the amount of time investment and television investment that they've spent on it, it just baffles my mind. So the Aces and Eights storyline did a lot to kill my interest in the TNA product. The continual, repeated featuring of guys in their 40s and guys in their 50s, and in some cases guys in their 60s over the past few years has really turned me off to TNA in some ways too. They were at a point in time here they were doing enough things to overcome that and make that not as big of a focus in my mind, but then it got to the point it's just back to the same old crap again. But you got the football season starting too, and I've been doing the football videos on my Schleg Daddy TV channel. That information's in the description box down below. Make sure you check it out and subscribe to that. It's where I'll do videos about football and sports, politics, other topics at hand, all those type of things. So I've been focusing on that a little bit too because I like to talk about stuff besides wrestling. I watch Impact every week. I do. I just sometimes, frankly, by the time I watch it, it might be because I work 6 days a week. I might watch it on Friday night. It might be Saturday night. And then by the time I really feel like reviewing it, it gets to be Sunday or Monday. And then it gets to the point sometimes, frankly, where it's like, fuck it. I don't even really feel like reviewing it at this point. I see what's the point. But it's been a few weeks since I've done a review. And I felt like I wanted to talk about TNA a little bit. Hence why you're getting this video about No Surrender from last week now. It's better late than never. Maybe this will kind of get me back in the swing of things a little bit. But I will have to tell you this about No Surrender. I'm not going to go through everything. No way, no how. Well, when you look at this show, yeah, it's still the concept of it's a free pay-per-view, but it has a bunch of promo segments. It's only 2 hours. All that stuff is fine. I'm not going to really shit on TNA with this show. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought Mac's quality was pretty solid. I thought the presentation of the show was all right. I thought the storytelling elements were pretty good. And it had some memorable stuff in there as well. Good solid TV show. Definitely a good solid 2-hour impact, in my opinion anyways. But there are other things that I want to focus on. I want to give TNA credit for. One, of course, is their involvement and their push with the Save Olympic Wrestling movement. Now, this is something that I will do a video about probably soon, shaming the WWE for their lack of interest and their lack of participation in this. That was absolutely putrid. The WWE was in a position as a publicly traded company in the New York Stock Exchange where they could have gotten some good publicity for themselves and done some real good at the same time and save a sport that is the oldest sport known to man, that was one of the pillars, the building blocks of the Olympics to begin with, and a sport, frankly, that a lot of their current performers, took part in at some point in time in their middle school or high school or even some cases college careers. That's amateur wrestling. Shame on the WWE for not doing more to help save amateur wrestling and save wrestling for the Olympics in 2020. And credit goes to Dixie Carter and everybody involved with TNA for stepping up to the plate and doing the right thing and trying to save Olympic wrestling. And it looks like all of those efforts that they took part in and so many other people took part in, that it paid off. And good for them. And thank you to them for doing the right thing. Like I said, sometimes it's far too easy, and I fall into that loop, no question about it, to sit there and bash people when they do bad things, but not give them enough credit when they do something right or do something well. I have nothing bad to say about TNA when it comes to that specific matter of all of their interest and all their focus and all their efforts and their time and energy that they invested in trying to do their part, whatever they could, to help save Olympic wrestling. You might say, well, it was going to get saved anyways, but it definitely didn't hurt. It helped create more backlash, and that's always a positive thing. And as a result, I view very positively TNA right now for that specific reason. It was a wonderful thing they did. I think they deserve a lot more credit. And I think WWE hasn't been called to task nearly enough for their lack of interest and their lack of enthusiasm and lack of effort when they really were in a position where they could have really helped things along. They really could have. In terms of No Surrender, you know, I'll put it this way. I liked some of the storyline advancement. I liked how the show was presented. I thought the match quality was very good. And I really like how the show really came down to Magnus and AJ Styles. You know, here you've got a young guy in Magnus who's all of, 26, 27 years old. Imagine if they ever give him a character and give him some personality. How good this guy could really be. This is a future building block for your company, and you put him in the right spot here. Putting him in the finals of your BFG series, whether you think it matters or not at this point, is irrelevant. They put him in a big spot. Main eventing the show. They had the world title match in the middle of the show, and this week, Anderson, Bully Ray, that shit should have been in the middle of the show. That should have been mid-carding the show. This should have been the halfway main event. Because the most important thing was the conclusion of the BFG series, especially when you look at the two people in it, Magnus and AJ Styles. Newer school for TNA versus the older school, the franchise piece of TNA, and that's what I really want to talk about here really quickly. Do you realize that it has been almost 3.5 years since TNA basically started burying AJ Styles when they threw him under the bus to have Rob Van Dam, of all fucking people, win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship? In that 3.5 years, how many times has Sting been world champion? How many times has Bully Ray been champion? How many times has Mr. Frickin' Anderson been world champion? How many times has Jeff Hardy been world champion? Think about that. Just think about the world champions in TNA over the past 3.5 years. Since like April of 2010. And AJ Styles has been world champion exactly 0 times. And that's very pathetic. I understand not wanting to always put a guy in the title scene, see the WWE and their mistakes they do with that sometimes. But 3.5 years? To me, when you think about all the flaws and all the stupidity, in a lot of ways it has been the Hogan and Bischoff era in TNA, and people question what they have really brought to the table. The one thing I think they really have brought to the table was a total devaluing and disrespecting and degrading of anything that TNA used to stand for as a company and used to represent, and that is personified in their treatment of AJ Styles. Now, at some point in time along the way, some a-hole in the back, some a-hole in the creative team decided that they've done wrong, and they were going to right previous wrongs, and they were going to get back on track. And there are still a lot of problems with the TNA product right now. To me, it is not a very good product at all. There are some things that you can enjoy watching, but by and large, it's not a very good product. You know, they're releasing people left and right. They just didn't re-sign Mickie James and all this other crap. So there are a lot of things staring against TNA. They're talking about going back off the road, which is bad. You know, there's so many other things. But AJ Styles, to me, winning the BFG series, does represent a glimmer of hope. Now, I realize from what I understand, supposedly, is that he's not under contract much longer, which, of course, again, represents the stupidity of the Hogan and Bischoff era. You've got a TNA original, the guy that wrestled in the first ever match in Impact Wrestling history, in TNA history, and you don't have him re-signed under contract yet. You even leave these things to chance. What morons are doing this shit? What morons are letting these things slip through the cracks? This is ridiculous. This is stupid. That's not how you conduct good business. But I'm going to assume that they're going to rectify the mistake. Because they're starting to rectify their mistake of what they've done with AJ Styles over the past 3.5 years now. For a lot of people that used to like TNA for this reason or that reason or for what it represents, AJ Styles winning the BFG series represents hope. It really does. It represents a sliver of hope that TNA is going to get back to the basics of who they were. It's going to get back to doing the right things for business. It's going to stop pushing the wrong people all the damn time. It's going to focus on the people that the TNA fan base, at least at the very worst, want to see the most. AJ Styles is the face of your company. He is the TNA Impact Wrestling brand more than any wrestler, no matter how much anybody wants to say otherwise, whether outside of the company or inside the fucking company. AJ Styles is the man. He is the franchise piece. For TNA's purposes, he is the phenomenal one. He's your building block. He's your measuring stick. Period. Now you've got a chance, after 3.5 years, to rectify so many wrongs by making AJ Styles your World Heavyweight Champion at Bound for Glory. And do not minimize it, ladies and gentlemen. It is an important thing, a very important thing. And it needs to happen. The era of pushing the Bully Rays, and this old fuck, and this washed up WWE guy, and this old hack, and making them world champions, and thinking they're drawing money when they're not, needs to end and die now. It needs to be about AJ Styles. It needs to be about the things that used to make TNA, and sometimes a frustrating product to watch, but made it something different and something still compelling to watch. It gave you enough. You might say, oh, this storyline was stupid, or this was crap, or this was crap. But my God, you got this, and you got that. And that's my guy, and that's my guy. And for a lot of us that used to love TNA, or still do love TNA, deep down in the pits of our stomachs, AJ Styles is our guy. He's not the greatest performer in the world. He's definitely no CM Punk all around. He's not even a Daniel Bryan all around. He's probably not even an Austin Aries all around. But he's still AJ Styles. He's still the phenomenal one. And he still is the fucking face of TNA. No matter how much Hogan, Bischoff, or any of those other morons associated with this company have tried to spit in his face and spit in our face the past 3.5 years. All this other bullshit could be begun to be wiped away on October 20th. AJ Styles can represent a fresh start, a new beginning for a company that's had him far too many times. But a chance, a real chance, to get the priorities straight again and put the right guy at the top. And believe you me, Bully Ray is not that guy. AJ Styles is that guy. He needs to march into Bound for Glory. I don't give a fuck if it's fake or not. We know it's fake. That's not the fucking point. He needs to march in to Bound for Glory, beat Bully Ray 1, 2, 3, 100% clean, even with goddamn Aces and Eights interference. Fuck that group. What the hell have they done for that company? Far as I'm concerned, you should have AJ Styles face all 5, 6, however many dick-licking stupid members of that group there are left, and have them beat all of them in a damn gauntlet match, culminating with pinning Bully Ray 100% clean, or making him submit even damn better and becoming the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Aces and Eights has represented all that is wrong with the Hogan and Bischoff era in so many ways. But AJ Styles now represents all that can be good again with this company, and all that can be done right again. And I'm so happy that AJ Styles won the BFG series. I cannot tell you. This has been a long time coming. The stuff about the emo J Styles and all that other crap, I could talk about that another time. This whole thing of AJ Styles in the position he's in. He is the face of that company. He is the man for TNA. And all that shit he's been saying on the mic and all the shit he's saying he's going to say yet to come is all true, and he can do so much more, and he needs to. Fuck if it's a work or a work shoot or a full-on shoot. It doesn't matter because it needs to be fucking said. For 3.5 years, this man has been spit on by this company. Been disgraced. How many fucking times do we need to see him and Christopher Daniels any damn ways? Absolutely ridiculous. No excuse. And they have no excuse now because they pulled the trigger. No Surrender was actually a good show. I enjoyed it. It got me a little more excited for Bound for Glory. TNA's got a lot to do to really rebuild my passion for their product and their company once again. I have faith because the WWE has done it since SummerSlam. They're not perfect, but they're doing better. And after Bound for Glory, I can't pretend that AJ Styles winning the TNA World title is going to wipe away all the problems. Because there's no magical brush that can do that, brother. Believe that, brother. But it's a good start. It's that focal point. It's that beginning piece. And that's what TNA needs. They need AJ Styles to win that belt. AJ Styles as the Bound for Glory series winner. I'm 100% behind. Let's hope they do the right thing. Don't overthink it. Re-sign AJ Styles long term. Have him win the belt at Bound for Glory. And hopefully good things will come out of it from there.